That's not right. That's still not right. Those colors are right, but there it is. What is going on, people? Leo here from Creative Tech Lab, and as you could guess, because that's what you clicked on, today we are talking about color grading. But first and foremost, welcome to Creative Tech Lab. My name is Leo. This is the YouTube channel to accompany our website, creativetechlab.com, where we do talk about all things creative right now here on the channel. A lot around run and gun videography. So if you are into that kind of thing, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. It would be greatly appreciated on my part, and I can be assured that you will not be disappointed. So, color grading. And the reason why I keep putting up the quotations because a lot of people think that it's cheating, I guess. You even probably got an ad before this video that talked about color grading and how people keep slapping on LUTs and calling that color grading and blah, 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 blah. LUTs help to give you the look and helps to speed up your process a lot. So that's what we're talking about here. And I've actually had a lot of people ask me about how I achieved this particular look. And I think because of the blues and the tones in this room, it actually comes out good. So hopefully whatever it is that I share with you here today can help at least a few people, maybe many people. Let's see, but I do think it could help somebody because people keep asking me, so we're sharing the process here. All right, so the very first thing before we even get into Final Cut Pro and start talking about what we're doing there to achieve the look is we do need to make sure that the shot is shot correctly and exposed correctly. I know it sounds boring, but you always have to make sure that you're starting with something good in order to achieve something good or better. And you can't put lipstick on a pig. Well, I guess you could put lipstick on a pig, but that's just weird and it's not something that I want to get into right now. Anyway, so as far as the actual look in the room, part of the reason I think this room looks so different and people keep asking about me because the background has some natural just blues and stuff, and some of that, those two paintings behind me have a little bit of gold and it has some of those contrasting colors, and then I am lit and it kind of, the background is blue, so it helps to pull away from that. So you have that, and then as far as my lighting setup, I am lit by the Godox SL60W, the poor man's Aperture 120D with a big photo Diox light dome there, so I get that nice soft light. And then one of the things that I started doing in the background is adding those two Aperture ML9s with the two contrasting colors. Hold on one second, I'll grab one of those. Just blowing out the highlights there, but one orangish, one kind of teal, and these are the Aperture ML9s with gels, not the brand new ones that have the RGB color in them. Two of these are actually the price of one of those, and the gels came in free with it, so I just ran with that instead of spending the money on one light. But before I had those running, I had one of my Fovitech lights underneath the table here. Let me show you what that looks like. So subtle difference there in the background, but that's kind of just shoots a little bit more light up above my head on the wall there and kind of highlights the two paintings a little bit. But right now I kind of prefer the ML9 lights up there right now. Then, as we alluded to in the title, we're shooting in Sony's HLG Hyperlog Gamma profile. That's my favorite picture profile. I do not really understand S-Log. I'm still trying to get it, but HLG is still really flat, but still has the colors almost there and is a lot easier to color grade. So that is what we're shooting in there. I do set my color mode to Rec 709 in the camera, and then when you bring it over to Final Cut Pro, there's just an extra step there where you need to do a color space override to get that nice flat image, and I do that to Rec 709, and then I'm able to start my grade. So let's jump over to Final Cut Pro with the clip that we started with, and we can go ahead and start to grade it there. Oh, and before we jump over into Final Cut Pro, yes, we're going to be using LUTs, not just any LUTs. We're going to be using LUTs from that guy. You know who that guy is because I kind of said it in the title. Don't want to shout him out too much to make it look like I'm trying to get any exposure from that guy, but we're talking about Mr. Peter Mckinnon. We're using the PM LUTs to color grade this footage. So let's jump over into FCP. All right, so we're in Final Cut Pro here. We have that opening clip where I did do the click there. As you can see, it looks fine here, but W to drop it onto the timeline there, and you can see it looks super bright and super blown out there. Is because the color space is not correct. But if you come into info and color space override there, drop it to 709 and you will get what you need to get there. Now I use adjustment layers to color grade my footage. Links down below on where you could get those adjustment layers there. But if I'm grading multiple clips, I will use two, one as the base as we're going to use here, and then the other one as a look grade. But when I'm just doing these talking head shots and it's just one shot to color grade, I will just use just one, and you'll see why here. So the first thing we're going to do, and we're going to do it on the adjustment layer because sometimes we're going to have a lot of different clips, but in the same scene, is we're going to add some contrast. So I'm going to come over here to my exposure and I'm just going to drop the shadows down a little bit. I'm going to pull the highlights up quite a bit, maybe drop the midtones just a little bit there, and then you could see we already have a nice looking image. But then what the next thing that we're going to do here is we are going to come over here into our effects and we're going to add the LUT to the adjustment layer. Now, once we have the LUT there, I already had the LUT installed, and like I said, it's that guy's LUT, that orange and teal though, and as you can see, it comes in looking kind of crazy there, but that's because the LUT is just too strong. So we're going to pull the LUT down all the way to about 37%, and as you can see, that's what it looks like. Now Peter, can I call him Peter? Mr. Mckinnon, since he does have 4 million subscribers now, he shoots Canon, and Canon colors are a lot more punchy than what we're shooting here, even in Sony's HLG. So as you can see from the footage here, it's a little bit desaturated. So what we want to do here is we're going to go back into our color board, and I'm going to go to saturation, and I kind of just bump the saturation up until it is that I like my skin tone there. And that actually kind of looks good. And sometimes this is where I will just leave it. I'll just boost to saturate, add the LUT, pull it down, boost to saturation. And speaking of Peter Mckinnon, his homie, other Toronto homie, Matt Hapoya, is the one that really got me to get this whole look working. He always says that people add LUTs and then kind of pull down the mix, but they never really add back the saturation of what they need to do. So that shout out to Mr. Hapoya there in terms of getting me onto this look. Now, if I'm being super anal, if you want to be super anal about this, like this is where sometimes I will just leave it, but you could also, just to check the overall look, you can go ahead and use the vector scope here. So let's go ahead and add a shape mask and just put it over my face to see where that lands on the vector scope there. All right, so we have just my face, and then you could go in here and you could go into the vector scope, and you could see all skin tones are supposed to drop on this line right here. It's a little bit off to the left of the line. I like the way that it looks as it is, but if you're super anal and you want to make sure that you are nailing your skin tones, what you could do here is just come back over here to color corrections. You could add the color wheels, and then I would just go down to tint. And as you could see here, if you just pull the tint just a little bit there, you have your skin tones exactly where you wanted it to be, and you haven't really affected too much else on the image. So then you could come back over here and just turn that mask off, and that's our look. So go back over here and I turn off, well, if I just do that there, that's the original clip. If I do that there, that's the entire thing. If I turn off the color wheels, as you could see, it's really subtle in terms of the change. We just added a little bit more oomph to my face, and then that's it. You're done. You're color graded. You got the look that it is that you're looking for. This is an orange and teal type look. Contrast in colors. It's not too overly saturated as far as I'm concerned, or overly orange and teal, because we did pull that LUT down, and that's the look that we got. So whether or not you think it's cheating, it is really that easy and that simple in order to get the look. And if you have multiple cuts, multiple jump cuts, or whatever it is, kind of like I have throughout this video, you just pull that adjustment layer all the way down. So links down below into where I got these adjustment layers. I think I got those from Daniel Schiffer. Links down below to Peter Mckinnon's LUTs, which you typically were coming up on Black Friday. I think I got them last year for a discount. I don't know if he's doing that this year, but probably he will. So go ahead and pick those up. Also, if it is that you do have, like, this particular look looks really good in this setting, the best value for the money in terms of LUTs is JR Ali. He has a LUT pack that was only $7 with a bunch of different looks, including your typical orange and teal, a moody log for like nighttime scenes and stuff, if you ever seen his work. So his at $7 is probably the best value for money. And then I also have Daniel Schiffer's LUTs as well, which I do use on certain footage. Those two guys actually shoot Sony, so their LUTs might be a little bit more relevant, but as you can see from the Peter Mckinnon LUTs, even though he shoots Canon, and that's probably how the footage that he was using when he made it, it still looks good. So hopefully that helps somebody that's doing these YouTube videos or any type of videos really to kind of get the look that it is that they're looking for, whether it's cheating or slapping on LUTs or whatever it is that you call it. So if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, please go ahead and drop it a like. That would be greatly appreciated, and it does help the video out. And if it is that you're into this kind of content, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. There's a lot more content like this already on the channel and a lot more to come. So I will catch you in the next one and not ramble on. Peace. Bam!